Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This video was created for early childhood special education professionals, including teachers and interventionists and related service providers who work with young children from birth through grade 3. The purpose of this video is to review best practices for gathering behavioral data through using both formal and informal methods, and also discuss how effective data collection can support positive classroom environments and inform instructional decision making. This also gives a clear understanding of how to accurately document, analyze, and collaborate around behavioral data, which is important for meeting the diverse social, emotional, and behavioral needs of young learners, including those with exceptionalities. Role of behavior data in maintaining a positive classroom environment is organized collection and examination of behavioral data that plays an important role in continuing a positive and supportive classroom environment for all students. Behavioral data that lets educators identify patterns, triggers, and functions of behavior rather than depending on assumptions and subjective perceptions. Using data to lead intervention, teachers can actively address difficult behaviors, encourage positive behaviors, and adjust environmental instruction strategies to allow adjustment for a child. This data-driven approach shows consistency, reduces classroom disruptions, and supports social emotional development by making sure that behavior expectation supports are developmentally appropriate and individualized to students' needs. Methods of documenting the organizing behavioral data. There are several effective methods for documenting and organizing behavioral data. One common and formal method is asyndical, I can't say that word, records, which include brief, objective notes that are taken during the natural classroom activities to capture context, extractions, and responses to behavior. A second method is frequent duration and recording, which is more formal approach that keeps track of how often a child have the specific behavior that occurs, giving measurable data that is used for monitoring progress over time. A technology-based method includes the use of digital data collection and tools and apps such as behavioral tracking software and shared spreadsheets, which allows educators and productively record data, generate visual graphs, and collaborate with team members. Technology tools can enhance the accuracy of organization and accessibility of data while decreasing the same demands. The factors that influence hinder accurate behavioral collection. There are several factors that can influence our accuracy or behavior data. Observer bias, lack understandable behavior definitions, and inconsistent data collection routines can lead to unreliable and invalid data. Environmental distractions, the time constraints and competing classroom responsibilities, completing 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 classroom responsibilities can also impact accurate observation and documentation. In addition, being uneducated or data collection methods may result in inconsistent interpretation of behaviors. To address these challenges, educators should use clear and defined behavior standardized data collection tools and consistent operation schedules while working with the colleagues to improve reliability. Importance of the collaborating families and behavioral data collection. Collaborating with families and important collecting behavioral data as children's behavior are influenced by home and school environments. Families can give valuable insights and routine stressors, cultural expectations, and behavioral patterns that have been observed at home. For example, a child that demonstrates aggression at school may be experiencing changes in sleep routines and family transitions at home. By gathering this information, though, family interviews, behavior checklists, and communication logs, educators can gain much more comprehensive understanding of the child's behavior and can create interventions that are responsive and respectful of family dynamics. Working together with families and establish common behavioral goals, and demonstrate consistency and increase positive outcomes for young children. Educators can capture families in goal setting meetings where school-based behavioral data are shared in a clear and supportive manner. For example, shared goals might focus on improving the child's ability to transition calmly between activities, both home and school. Educators can insist on certain strategies that can be used in classroom while families go over strategies that can work at home, creating expectations and align with support for the behavior across all environments as a whole. The difference between behavioral data collection and difference between the both birth to school preschool environments and grade K through grade 3. The settings because of the developmental differences during the birth of preschool settings, data collection and essentially based and integrated within play. Routines and caregivers interactions behavior is interpreted within the conditions of the developmental milestones and emerging self-regulation skills. In K to 3 grade 3 environments, data collection becomes much more structured and may include behavioral rating scales, self-monitoring tools, and formal behavior tracking that is aligned with school-wide expectations for attention and independence and peer interactions are higher, requiring more exact collection methods. Behavioral data collection for children for exceptionalities often require some modifications to make sure all the data in that is valid, equitable, although data collection methods may be similar for children with and without exceptionalities. There are adjustments that can be put into play, such as increase in observation frequency, individualized behavioral definitions, and accommodations for communication or sensory needs that may be necessary. For example, a child may have autism and may require certain visual supports and alternative communication methods to accurately assess behavior. There are modifications to make sure that the data can reflect the child's abilities and needs rather than limitations, supporting appropriate intervention planning. In conclusion, to the effective behavioral data collection is basic component in early childhood special education practice by using the number of formal and informal methods, collaborating with families, and adapting approaches based on developmental level and the needs of each individual. Educators can create positive, inclusive learning environment. Behavioral data allow educators to make informed decisions that support the social emotional growth and success of all learners. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a good day.